Hi, Bert from HeartHorse Dressage here. We are going to talk about holding the reins of a double bridle. So I've got two different sorts of reins on my double bridle. I've got a thick chunky pair of rubber reins for my Bridle, my top rein, and then I've got some covered leather reins with stops that are much thinner for my curb rein. Now there are many different holds you can use for a double bridle. I'm going to show you a few of the different holds, and it's very personal which hold you decide to use, and it really does pay to experiment and maybe not use the hold that your friends use, or just to find out what works for you. Right, so you always hold the Bridle on the outside of the curb. The curb's always held closer into the horse's neck. Now I've used my hold there. First one I'm going to start with a very common hold, which is to put the reins crossed over on the horse's neck, and you have the Bridle going around the bottom of your hand and then coming up through between the first finger and the thumb, and then the curb rein comes from between your pinky and your ring finger, comes up through and sits underneath the Bridle against your first finger, and then is secured by your thumb. Now the second really common hold that many riders use is to not have the reins crossed, so they are, as they come off the bridle, they're in the same order into your hand, and to have the Bridle go in between the pinky and the ring finger and out of the top, and the curb comes through the bottom of the hand and comes between the thumb and the Bridle rein against the first finger. This gives a very organised, very simple feel to the rein. It's used by a lot of top riders. It can be really effective. Personally, for me, I find I slip on the rein when it's like this. So it really is up to the rider to find how they're most secure with their rein. Now this is another way of holding the reins. This is the first one I'm going to introduce, where you have a split between where the Bridle and the curb come out of the hand. So for this one, the Bridle goes underneath the little finger and comes out of the top between the first and the thumb, and then the curb goes in between the pinky and the ring finger and comes out between the first and the second finger. This gives you a little bit more differentiation, and you have crossed reins again like you did on the first hold. This feels quite nice. It's where you feel most secure with your Bridle, so that you don't end up sliding on the Bridle and having all your weight on the curb rein. That's probably the most important thing, is being able to control the relative lengths of each rein compared to the other one. This is the rein hold that I use pretty much all the time with a double bridle. This is my Bridle, comes in between my pinky and my ring finger and comes out of the top. So the Bridle is in its normal position in the hand, just like it would be if I was using a snaffle bridle. And then the curb goes in, I don't know if you can see that, between the second finger and the third finger, and out between the first finger and the second finger. So it's only looped around one finger. Now lastly, I'm going to show you a fairly old-fashioned way of holding the reins. It's usually called the Phyllis hold, and this gives you the greatest degree of separation between the curb rein and the Bridle. The Bridle is held the same way as you do with the Mexican reins or the driving reins we showed you in a previous video. It's held going from the horse's mouth over the hand and out through the bottom of the hand. And then the curb is going to run from the bottom of the hand and then come out through between the first finger and the thumb, sitting underneath the Bridle. So you have If I get it right, there we go. There we go. So you have supreme separation. You can put your little finger through there. If I was going to use Phyllis, I find that more comfortable, but classically Phyllis hold is that way around. And it does give you a totally different feel. It gives you more separation. It can make you more dexterous with the rein. It enables you to really get the curb on its own. If you lift and tilt your hand, you get the curb without the Bridle. If you bring your hand up and back, you can get the Bridle without the curb. It gives you tremendous separation. There are many different holds out there. I don't think any of them are particularly more right than any other, but sometimes a different hold is more right in that situation or with that horse, or when you're dealing with a particular issue. They're there, experiment with them. They are all incredibly useful when you're training and competing. Most of them are accepted by the judges. The 3-in-1 is considered a little bit weird, but again, it's used by the Spanish riding school. It couldn't really get much more classical. The Phyllis hold, again, it looks a little bit weird, but it's as classical as you can get. So no one can really have a problem with it. They all serve a purpose. They all suit different riders and different horses. Practice them, master them. You never know when you might want to use it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to find more videos like this falling into your inbox. Thank you ever so much and see you soon. Bye.